Today we are going to review the coordinate plane. Please copy down the standard benchmark indicator on a clean page in your math notebook. The students will identify, represent, order, and compare integers. You can pause the video here to give yourself time to copy down the SBI. Make sure you take time and watch the coordinate plane brain pop video, which is linked right below this on Blackboard. The password and the login information are all there as well for you. Graphing points on a coordinate plane. The parts of a coordinate plane: the x-axis is the horizontal number line. The y-axis is a vertical number line. The origin is the place where the two numbers meet, so that's at 0, 0. The quadrants are the four sections created by two number lines. They're always numbered using Roman numerals, and they start in the top right and they go counterclockwise. A point on the coordinate plane is represented by an ordered pair. The x-coordinate is always listed first. Then the y-coordinate is second. They're always separated by a comma, and they're always in between parentheses. So to locate point 4, -3, start at the origin, and we go 4 places to the right. You can see the arrow there on the graph. And then 3 places down to the -3. So this point is located in quadrant 4. Graph and label these points on the coordinate plane. So if you look at our coordinate plane, we notice it has letters all the way through F. So when we start graphing point 1, we're going to graph it and label it G and start there. So point 1 is 4, 1. So we're going to go over 4, up 1, and label that point G. Point 2 is at -3, 3. So we're going to go over to the left to -3 on the x-axis, and then we're going to go up to 3, and we're going to label that point H. Number 3 is 2, 0. So this one's going to be on the x-axis. It's not going to go up or down at all. So we're just going to go over to the 2 on the x-axis, and we're going to label that point I. For number 4, the point is at 4, -2. So we're going to go over 4 and then down 2, and we're going to label that point J. For 5, we're going to go to -2, 4. So we're going to go over to -2 and then up 4 and call that point K. Finally, for point 6, we're going to go to -3, -4. So we're going to go to the left 3 and then down 4 and label that point L. For 7 through 10, it wants us to write the ordered pair for each point. So first we have to find point A. And if we look, we go over to -4 on the x and go up to +4 on the y. So we're going to have -4, 4 as our point. For B, we're going to have to go over to -2 on the x and then up to +2 on the y. For D, we're going to have to go over to +3 for the x and then down to -2 for the y. And then finally, point E, we're going to go over to -2 on the y, down to -2 on the x and the y there. For 11, it wants us to join points B, C, D, and E in order. When you do this at home in your math notebook, please make sure you use a ruler so you get a straight line there. And if we look at our 4 points there, we see we have a quadrilateral, and we know it's a trapezoid because opposite sides are parallel for one set and the other two are not. So we only have one pair of parallel sides. For 12, reasoning. In what quadrant will a point with a negative x-coordinate and a positive y-coordinate be located? So a negative number first and a positive number second. So if we move up and look at our graph here, we can see the quadrants are labeled. Quadrant 1 is always positive, positive, so it's top right. And then it goes counterclockwise, so 2, 3, and 4. So for this one, we want a point with a negative y-coordinate. For number 12, it wants us to find out in what quadrant will a point with a negative x-coordinate and a positive y-coordinate be located. So if we look up here, our negative x is to the left and our positive y is up. So we know it's going to be the top left quadrant, but it wants to know what number quadrant it is. So we know the quadrants start numbering with number 1 being positive, so it's the top right. And then the numbering continues counterclockwise, and it's always in Roman numerals. So if we look, a negative x-coordinate, positive y-coordinate is going to be in quadrant 2. Great. Please make sure you have everything copied down in your math notebook, and if you haven't already done so, please log on to BrainPop and watch a coordinate plane review video there as well.